Hello, good morning everyone. Myself Shivam. So today is our 10th lecture of studying basic of Python, and we are covering today object oriented programming. So this is very important topic in Python programming as we are reaching to its end, and we will upload 2 or 3 lectures more on object oriented programming Python. So if you want see tutorial next, so we can also upload them also lecture wise, like we have uploaded Python video. So in previous video we have studied about dictionaries, what are the method we can apply on dictionary, what are the set method, and in this we will discuss about a new chapter named object oriented programming. So first we will study something about its history. So basically object oriented programming was initially introduced as MIT at 1950s and gained traction in the 1970s. Means it was introduced in 1950 and it was gained transition in 1970. It uses in 1970, and during 1980 Banzare Stotostos incorporated object oriented principle into C language. Means in 1980 the person named Banzare added object oriented principle into C language and creating C++. Because C is not object oriented programming language, so it is modified to C++. This language marked the first instance of a widely used and commercially successful object oriented. Means the C++ language was the first object oriented language which was successfully approved. In 1990s, Jim Gosling of Sun Microsystems developed Java, and here it is saying that Java was introduced in 1990 by the person named James Gosling, which was working in Sun Microsystem. Java is a simplified version of C++. So as it is clearly mentioned that Java is a simplified version of C++. It sound extensive application in internet based application, so this is not of use. Python created by Guido van Rossum in 1989. So this date is to be remembered because they can ask you in Viva or MCQs what when was Python developed and who was the founder of Python. So Guido van Rossum was the founder of the Python and he founded it in 1989. And Python has object oriented programming capability, and it is mentioned here by 1990. Python was developed in 1989 and object oriented programming was introduced in Python in 1990s. So what is object oriented programming? This is a programming paradigm based on the concept of object which may contain data in the form of field often known as attribute. So in this field will be known as attribute, and in object oriented programming there will be object. We will make object. What are object? We will learn them in next lecture or this lecture after some time. And we will make classes are blueprint of the object. So we will learn all thing about this. So next is any object oriented programming language should incorporate the fundamental following. Means if the language is object oriented programming, this should have these 3 functions. First is encapsulation. Encapsulation meaning that the capacity to model real world entities with their characteristics and behavior, while concealing means these have attribute and behavior. The language should have both behavior means method and characteristics means attributes. It should have inheritance property. Means if we have created a parents table, so in child table we can assist its characters, so it is known as inheritance. So it should have inheritance, like here it is written, the capability to create new class based on existing classes, inheritances. Next is polymorphism. It is the ability of object to modify its behavior based on the type of data it is processing. So it's also have polymorphism. In simply it means to directly modify the data type. Next is Python along with languages like Java, C++ and Smalltalk support the fundamental concept of object oriented programming, making it a versatile OOP language. So OOP is a short form of object oriented programming. From further we will not write object oriented programming completely, we will write OOP. So next is object oriented programming basics. What are the basics of object oriented programming? Object oriented programming are diverse, means they are very vast, very large, but most popular ones are class based, meaning that objects are instance of classes. As I have said you 2 minutes earlier, that what are objects? Objects are instances of classes which determine their type, means it will determine whether the class will be of which type. Next is the concept of class. What are the concept of classes? In OOP, we use classes to represent real world thing and scenario. So classes are the real world entities. We use them to represent scenarios, and we create objects based on those classes. So objects are created on the basis of classes. And what is the definition of the class? A class is a blueprint or a design that define the variable and method common to all objects. Means a class is blueprint or a design of an object, means how what is the appearance of the object, that will be called a class or a virtual object. So the data stored in its variable are known as attribute or field, means in classes whatever the values or the data is stored, they are known as attribute and fields. The code that can access the data to give the necessary output is called method or function. So this is the main difference between attribute and a method. Attribute are the data stored inside a variable, and the method are the code that can access the data. Data stored is attribute, and the code that can access the data is called method. So we understand that classes is used to associate code, means classes are used to associate code with the data, and we can operate on that thing using class to reduce the complexity. As classes reduce the complexity of the code, and it will also decrease the line of the code. Here it is written that an object is an instance of classes, as same is also mentioned in the previous slide maybe. So an instance refer to a specific object created from a particular class. So instance of class means they are created through a particular class and are unique for that class. The process of creating an object from class is known as instantiation. Instantiation, so you need to devise its definition. The process of creating an object from class is known as instantiation. So there is one example how we can create the class, or how we can create the object, how we can access the class, how we can access the object. Suppose we need to build a class car Honda, class car for the Honda company. So our name of the class will be car, which is for the Honda company. The variable are name, color are the attribute, means variable name are the attribute of the class car, means we need to create a class name car, and there inside we have to declare two variable name and color, which are its attribute. A method get speed is defined inside the class, means we need to define one method which is named as get speed inside the class car, which does some manipulation of the attribute and return its output. Honda City is the instance or object of the class car. So now we will see that how we can solve this. First, we simply, for creating a class, we simply write class method. Like for creating a function, we use def keyword. So for creating the class, we use class keyword, then our class name, then in parenthesis, then this colon. So for defining the variable name, or for defining these attributes, we will use the def keyword. After this def, we will use double underscore, then write init init. This name is initialization, means we are initializing the variable. Then another we will write two underscore, then in bracket first we will write self, then our variable name. This self is necessary to write here. We will understand later why we need to write this here self, but you just need to remember that for defining a class, first we will use car keyword, then a space, then our class name. Then for the initializing the variable name, we need to use def keyword like we use in function, and then we will use double underscore. These are double underscore here. Then a init function, init means initializing, and then double underscore, then in parenthesis we will use write self here, and then name and color. Like here it is given that we need to write the variable name and color of the car. Next is self dot name is equal to name, means uh, this self is this, means in this self name is initialized to name and color is initialized to that color. And next it is here written that we need to define a get speed method. So for get speed we will another write that define get speed and self, means this self is related to this get speed only, not anything other. So for initializing the variable or for declaring variable you have to use init function, and for defining the method you just need to write def keyword and the name of the keyword, name of the method. Then you will print top speed of plus self dot name, means if this name is called here, self dot name is called here, plus is 150 kilometer, means in the, we can declare here any name also like Honda City, Verna, anything, but in this we have to take this from the user also, or we have declared here in next line. If we directly write here any car name, so it will be printed here, but we are creating an instance of classes called Honda City. So Honda City is a instance of the classes or object, like we just need to declare Honda City here, as it is written Honda City is the instance of the object. So these are Honda City is the instance of the object is equal to, we simply call the core car class here, and here write Honda City comma red, means this name will be Honda City and the color will be red, because in this only two variable are there, name and class, and if we call this we have to give two value. So first value is Honda City, which is given to this name function. Next value is this red, which is given to this color. Next is how we can use the name of the instance or how we call the method. So first we will write Honda City, this instance name, then dot, then this method name we will call. So this Honda City will give us this car name and the color of that, and this will go to this get speed method, and it will be initialized here. So whenever we will call it, so it will give a sample output Honda City is available only in the red color, and the top speed of Honda City is 150 km per hour. So as here top speed of Verna, top speed of Honda City is 150 km per hour. So in this way classes and objects are used. So this is classes, and these are the variable for declaring the variable. We use initializing variable or function, which is double underscore init, then again double underscore, then we will define the method, then we will create an instance of classes. So this is the procedure. I know it is a long procedure, but it is very important to understand object oriented programming language, because these are the main of the Python programming. So this is the sample output of this test. Our next is understanding OOPS concept. So what are the concepts included in this? First is procedural programming emphasis and procedures, means these are done procedure wise. First step is done like first we have to define a class, then we have to define attributes, then methods, and these are implemented in object oriented programming. So therefore object are the key to understand the object oriented programming. The concept of object. So an object is a software or bundle of variable related method, means object are the combination of variable and methods. It is written like that. It is given an example also, so you will now clearly understand. It is written, we can look around and find many examples of real world objects, such as mobile phone is also an example, car is also an example, ceiling, and etc. All these real world objects have two characteristics, state and behavior, means they have two characteristics. For state means what are its specification, like if the one have one plus phone, what is the color, like blue, battery saver on or off, switch off. And next is behavior, what are the function we can perform in that, like playing music, playing game, recording videos, and capturing our photo, and many thing else. So software object initiate real world object, thus they have two state and behavior. Means in object oriented programming also they have two state and behavior. The software object means its state to real world represented by the data implementation, its behavior with function of called as method. So this is the definition of method. So you can here see that what is method like. So these variables are conventionally known as instance variable. So you now know what are instance variable also, because they contain the state of a particular object called an instance, and these method are conventionally known as instance method. So because they can change the state of a particular object, so if we change the state of a particular object, it can become the instance method. In object oriented programming, an object represents an entity that can store data. So what is entity? Entity are those we can store data and has its interface without here. So it is written that a class can also describe like here. So class is the representation of characteristics and behavior of the same category of object. Means the class will represent the characteristics and the behavior of an object. So this is class. Next is OOPS concept. So first our OOPS concept is encapsulation. It is the one of the fundamental concept of object oriented programming. It describes the idea of bundling data and method. Means in simply, if they ask in 1 mark, so you can write binding data and method together is known as encapsulation. It is here also written encapsulation is abstraction plus information adding. So what is abstraction? So abstraction meaning in the object oriented programming to hide the unnecessary information which are not relevant. Like in car, when we drive a car, we know this is accelerator and this is brake. We did not need to know that how they are made, so that information is hidden to us. We just only need to know that this is brake, this is accelerator. So it describes the idea of bundling data and method together that work on the data with one unit by restricting access to some object of the component. But it will restrict the access to unnecessary functions. A class is an example of encapsulation as it binds together the data and associated function. Means in class we will define method also, we will define class also. So this is example of encapsulation. So next are what are the advantages of encapsulation, why we use encapsulation. So it will prevent the accidental modification or misuse of data by outside entity. Like if anyone want to hack our system and use our information unnecessarily, so it will prevent that. Or if we by mistakenly modify our data, so it will prevent from that also. It provides programmer with better control over the flow of data. Means in this the flow of data will be smoother. Next is abstraction. Means abstraction is a abstraction is used as a technique to identify all essential characteristic behavior of object and to omit those abstract. Means here it is also written that essential characteristic, as I have also said that it is used to hide the unnecessary information in the data. Next is information hiding. Means hiding all unnecessary information like implementation detail and etc from outside entities. Here it is also written that a class or group its member into 3 sections: private, protected and public. Private means accessible to only one person. Protected means that person also need to enter the password to enter into that. And public means anyone from the outside can access. Like you have personal Wi-Fi, so you can access them, so it is private. But you have entered its password, so if next time you want to connect to Wi-Fi, you need to enter the password, so it is protected. And anyone can access means it is public Wi-Fi. So the private and the protected member remain hidden. Means these private and the protected member are remain hidden from the outside world, because these are private, no one can access them. A class enforced data hiding means a class can contain data hiding. The outside world is given only essential and necessary information through public member. As I have said you that hiding unnecessary information. The rest of the thing remain hidden, which is nothing but abstraction. So now you clearly know that what is abstraction. Abstraction is hiding unnecessary information and creating and showing only necessary information to the outside world. Next is classes and object. Imagine a car factory. Before production, you need a blueprint showing the car structure, brand, model. The blueprint itself is not a car. So this is an example, like if you are working in a car factory, you are making a car, you need to define its blueprint, means its overview, its structure, its brand name, model, current, color, engine type. So the car itself is not a blueprint, the car is a class. So in Python, a class work in the same way. It is a blueprint that defines the structure and the attribute. So from this example, maybe you have now clear that what are classes. Next is what are object. In Python, think about the car produced by this factory. Even if two cars are the same model like Toyota Corolla, each car is unique, because if there is two person of same name, so these person are unique, but they have only same name. So same as here, these two type of car have same company but they are different. In Python, these cars are called object or instance of classes. Each object has its own copy, means even if the object name is similar, they have its own property, so they are unique. So how we can create class in Python? So the syntax for creating class we have also studied earlier few minutes ago. Like first we need to write class keyword, then the name of the our class, then colon, then we need to define the class attribute and the method. So this is an empty blueprint. This is make too useful. We add attribute property that describe the car. So we have not described the overview of car, means the class is car. Now we need to define the interior of the car, mean the feature of the cars. Attribute give each object its own identity, even the blueprint is same, means if there is attribute, they give each object is their own identity, even if the blueprint for that car is same, but it have its unique properties. So next is how we can define the attribute. So for defining the attribute, we need to write the init function. First we will write double underscore, then the init function, then again we will write double underscore. In Python, we define attribute using init method, which is automatically called when new object is created. Means init function is always be created, means always be written for creating the attributes or for defining the attribute. This method is called constructor. It is the method Python run to construct or set up a new object. So this is also known as constructor in Python, because in this new object is created. So class car, how we can write this? This is the syntax. Invite this, define double underscore init, then self comma brand comma model comma color. Self dot brand is equal to brand, self dot model is equal to model. So self refer to specific object is created, means this is the specific object brand. So this brand is given the name brand. Brand, model and color are instance of attribute, meaning each object has its own copy, means this it has its own copy, it has its own copy, and it has its own copy. So next is you never call init directly. Whenever you create a new car object, Python automatically called init for you, means you every time you are passing the variable, you did not need to create the init function in the class car, because in Python it will automatically call. Okay, so with this our blueprint is complete, means now this is the blueprint. Every car produced will automatically have a brand, model and color. So now we will solve our first question. What is our task? Now we have learned that what a class and what is attribute are. Let's define a blueprint for a school. We will create the class student. So now our task is to create a class named student. Now we have created a class named car. So the class should have the following attributes: name, roll number, and class name. So I have told you that we will create the attribute by initializing, and for that we will use double underscore init function. The instances are already created you in the provided code. You don't need to modify them, just focus on defining the blueprint. So in this function, the Python programmer has given us this line of code. We just need to define the class. Here first we will define the class student by writing the class keyword. Then we will define the variables by define init self comma name, roll number, class name, as these are written here: name, roll number, and class name. So self function we will use because it specifies the object itself. So next we will get self dot name is equal to name, self dot roll number. Why we always write self dot name is equal to name? Because here we have taken input the name, roll number, and class name. We can also take different, but it will be so much confusing to us to remember that much big code. So we just simply write what we have taken the input. So here we can also see that created a student object by taking the input, means these are the variable we have initialized or we have declared. So we have taken these three as input. So we have now created the object named student. This student is the object and this is the class. So what is the difference? Object and class will not be same. Here the s is capital and here s is small. So student is equal to, so we will call the class the student and write name comma roll number. So these all three will be given this name, roll number, and class name. So here see, it is same as we call the function name and pass the argument and the parameter. Then we can display the student detail as, or we can access that print student date now, means this object, and then we will write date not dot, and then this name, then student dot roll number. So these can be accessed this type. Next is constructor. A constructor can be viewed as a specific method used by the class to perform such as initializing variable. A constructor is used to initialize the variable. So the init is the inbuilt constructor in the Python. In Python, the constructor is defined with a single name called init and self across all the classes, means it is same for the classes, and we also write this self across all the classes. This method has two leading underscore and two trailing underscore, means two underscore before the init and two underscore after the init. A convention that help prevent Python default method name from conflicting. So when we create a class without a constructor, Python automatically create a default constructor that does not do but initialize the object. Means if we did not write this, Python automatically create an instructor for our class. Python does not support constructor overloading, means we cannot write a construction, then we cannot write another constructor again in the Python. If you try to overload the constructor, the last implementation will be executed each time. Means if you define the constructor 2 times, the previous or the first one which you have implemented will be executed again and again, and previous implementation will be overwritten by the latest one. Look at the syntax. So this is the syntax. First we have to write def keyword like we used to define the function, then this init, then self, and if you want to pass anything, to self comma arg1 comma arg till and till the number you want to enter the variable, or it is given in the question. Note: observe that self argument always precedes the other. It says that self is always written at first position, means before any argument you have to write the self argument here. So next is how we can creating object and access the attribute. Now we have seen that how we can initialize the variable and how we can create the class. Now we will see that how we can create the object and access that attributes. So think of a class as a blueprint it describes. So this is no need to study, just read that an object is the instance of class, means this is instance of or view of class. When we create object, Python allocate memory for it and store its attribute. Means when we create an object, Python automatically store and find the memory for its attribute. each object is independent and has its own set of attribute value. Means if in a class there are two objects, so both will have its own attribute value, means both will have the different values. Next is how we can create the object. Let us say we have a car class. To create an object of this class, we do like first we will tell the object name car1 is equal to, then we have car class, so we will call the car class, and then we will pass the arguments same as we have second object name car2, then there is same class, so we will call this car and we will pass this value. Here car1 and car2 are two different object of the car class. As I have told you that there can be many object inside one classes, and each object will have its own attribute value. So each object has its own brand model, as I have you told you that car1 have Toyota, car2 is Honda, car1 contain Corolla and the color is red, car2 is Civic and the color is blue. So each object have its own attribute or its own properties. Next is accessing object attribute. When you create an object from class, means when you create an object from class, it gets its own set of attributes. These attributes store information specific to that object. So how we can access that? Print car1 dot brand. Here brand is the attribute we have accessed. So car1 dot brand access the brand of car1. Here it will print Toyota. car2 dot model means the model of car2, so it will print Civic, as it is here brand name, it is color, and it is model. So here it is written that we use the dot notation to access the attribute. So for accessing the attribute of an object, we use dot operator. It is clearly mentioned, object name dot attribute name. Our task is the student class is already defined and initialized, means now this time they have initialized the student class and have initialized the variable also in that class. Our task is we have to create an object name student using the entered value and print the detail of the student accessing the object attribute. So here you can see that they have created a class object and define this as we have done in the previous question. That's why we did not need to revise it again and again. Next is we have taken as input. So how we can create the object? So for creating the object, you need to print you need to write the object name, then in equal to you will write the class name. Like here class name is student, so you have write student, and then in bracket you will pass this variable. So this variable will given the value which we have taken from the user as here. Then it is written print detail by accessing the attribute. So we know that for accessing the attribute of an object, we will use dot operator. So first we will write the class attribute name, then dot, then the variable which we need to access the value. So same as print student dot name, student dot roll number. Here what is the common thing that in previous question we need to define the class and we need to initialize the variable, but in this question we need to create the object and we need to print the detail. Now we clearly know that for creating the class we need to use the class keyword, then for initializing the variable we use init keyword, then we will take input from the user or we will give from our side. Then for creating the object we need to write the object name, and in equal to we will call that class and pass all the variables. And here one thing is that we need to write the self statement whenever we initialize our variable, and self is always written at the first position. Then we can also access the attribute by using that dot operator. Next is writing class and creating an instance. So now we have to write the class and create the instance ourselves. Like this whole question is solved by me. So we have to create a class manager which contains the detail of the manager, like name, department, salary, means these are the variable. Take name, department, salary as input from the console, print the result. So first we need to create the class name manager. Inside this we need to define this variable by initializing then we will have to take these input from the user and then simply print. So first you will pause the video, then you will solve it by yourself. If you are unable to solve, then resume the video and see the answer. So here first we have defined the class manager, then I have written def initialize self comma name, means all these which are given here name, then we will initialize them. Self dot name is equal to name, self dot department is equal to department, self dot salary is equal to salary. So next we have to take them from the user, then we will create a object name manager1. So we can create object of any choice. These are like variable name. So manager, then we will call the class manager, like here we have call. Next is name comma department comma salary, we have passed as it is here input. So for accessing we will write object name dot the value we need to access, then another object name the value. So this is printing. So we have solved so many number of questions. Now you have clear idea how we can create class, how we can define, how we can initialize, how we can create an object, and how we can access the values. So next is a simple program. So these all are now question. You can solve them by yourself, or I will tell you the question by reading the question and will discuss the overview of the question. So in this it is clearly mentioned that define a class name student, then initialize with the argument self, name and age. Then inside it we have to write self dot name is equal to name, self dot age. Then we have to take a name and age from the user and store them in the variable s1 name and s1 age. Next we have to create an instance, means the of class student1, and then do this. So in this we have created the class student, then we have defined self name is, and then we have written self dot name is equal to name, self dot age is equal to age, like we write in all question. Next is name and age are taken from input, then we have created an object and we have called this class student and passed this name and age. Then in the same question we have taken the name and age again, and we have created the second object student2, and again we have passed the student name and age. So in this there is only one class student, and we have two objects student1 and student2, this student1 student2. So for printing we just need to write student1 dot name, student2 dot name. Here we have accessed the name of the student1 and student2, and it is mentioned in the question that we have to access the student name. So we can define n number of objects inside a class, and you can see that these have its own attributes. So this is a same question as we have done. So there is also a next question. You can read the question and solve yourself. Now I am thinking that you can take screenshot of the question. Class employees overlay defined, we have to define an instance like here. So next is method in a class. What are the different method inside a class? So I will tell you this in another video, because this video is too long now, and it need to be uploaded on YouTube also. So we will discuss them in next Python lecture 11. So we will quickly revise what we have done in this video. So we have read about what are object oriented programming language, the language which consists of object and classes. What are classes? Classes are the blueprint of the object. What are object? Object are the instances of the class. How we can define the class? We can define the class using the class keyword. Next is how we can initialize the variable. We can initialize the variable by using a underscore in it, then another underscore, and then passing self in the first time, and then the all our variable name. Then we will access them like self dot name is equal to name. Then we can define our object by writing different name as we have defined in class. Like if our class name is employee, so we can make the object name emp dot one, because class name and object name should not be same. This is the main thing to be remembered. Then we can access them by writing attribute name dot the name which we want to the print. So this all we have discussed in lecture 10. So if you have any doubt, you can tell me in the comment. I will make a separate video on that. So thank you and have a nice day.